We're the Con Guys, and this is the Con Guys Show, coming to you straight from the nerdy heart of Hollywood, California.
And this is Jim with theconguy.com.
She's been here with theconguy.com.
Katie here, aka the Con Girl.
Zordon did not want 5 teenagers with attitude.
My name is Derek Sam.
I'm Danae Sams, and that's my brother.
We are your home for news, opinions, and interviews from the world of Comic-Cons and fandoms. Your ultimate insiders for all things con.
And we're awake. And we're exhausted.
What? We're
San
resilient.
Diego. What's that?
I said we're resilient.
We're resilient, folks. We are dedicated to our craft. Hey, the studios did not come. The writers did not show up. And the actors, for the most part, they stayed away. Pop culture watchers and pundits were predicting a Comic-Con apocalypse. They said fans would revolt, attendance would drop off, hotels would be canceled. They predicted this would be the Comic-Con that never was. We're going to talk about that. My name is Jim. I am one of your hosts here on the Con Guys Show, which is the official podcast and show of theconguy.com, which Ben did such a great job of talking to 1,100 people about on Thursday night last week. But we'll get to that in just a second. Cheeseman, who else we got here?
Cheeseman here on the couch, as usual, here in my living room. Screenwriter and a host of the Con Guy as well. Survivor of Comic-Con, if that's a thing.
And Luke, you have a special guest with us today. Who is that?
My buddy Isaac from Ohio, even though we didn't meet in Ohio. We both grew up in Ohio. He's in Columbia now, but old buddy of mine.
Not South Carolina, though.
Not South Carolina.
Medellin, Colombia.
Isaac, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in the industry.
Cool. Well, thanks. I have a animation studio called Monster Truck Ninja. We do 2D, 3D animation. And we're developing a digital collectible company called Bacano Go that is like a 3D animated collectibles and skins and kind of in the Web 2 to Web 3 space. So that's it.
Cool.
I know exactly what Web 2 to Web 3 space means, but for those who don't know, Isaac, could you please explain what that is?
Sure.
By the way, he's talking about me because I am clueless about what that means.
Well, so basically it's digital collectibles kind of getting into like being able to own digital art. So whether it could use different cryptocurrency, blockchain, sort of sometimes a dirty word, people think of NFTs, but NFTs is the technology that allows us to expand collectibles and expand the things that we love and own digital assets. So now we could never own digital assets, but now we really can. And by owning that, we can do things like brand partnerships, and people are going to use it for tickets to prove that they bought their ticket. They're going to then be able to have that art, buy, sell, trade it. When I moved to Colombia, I couldn't bring my 3,000 plus comic books with me. But if I had them all digitized and I had them in my digital wallet, I could have, take them with me wherever I go. So I think that, a lot of people were used to the physical collectibles. There's the phygital, which is physical and digital, and then there's the fully digital. So we're developing in that space to help bring people the ability to bring their fandoms into their digital wallets and follow them where they go.
You asked, Ben. You asked.
Yeah.
I did.
But most importantly, it's the second Comic-Con.
That's right.
Yes.
Hey, Katie's having, I think, a slow connection tonight. Katie, are you there?
She said she just texted the group. She said her laptop shut off.
Oh, if she can jump back on, we will add her back in. But good old buddy Ben.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. Katie's trying to jump back in.
Let me see if I can find. I'll find her.
Maybe not. She may or may not join us again.
Okay.
But hey, everyone, it's me, old buddy Ben Cleaver. one of the hosts of the Con Guy Happy Hour and the Con Guy podcast and the Con Guy After Dark. Just kidding. We don't have that show yet.
What do you think this is? This, of course, we're After Dark.
I'm exhausted. You know, we're 2 days out now from coming back from Comic-Con, and now I'm packing to go on another trip. So I get 2 days, and then I'm leaving again. So I've been getting stuff taken care of all day and packing and all that good stuff. So I'm trying to gear up to be stoked for this show. But I'm also really excited because we're going to be telling all of you who maybe we saw you at San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe you weren't able to make it to San Diego Comic-Con. And so maybe you'll get a little taste of what the experience was like here tonight on our show, which is recapping a really fun and cool weekend, as San Diego Comic-Con always is.
So Ben is answering the question. Okay, what's the title of our show? Did San Diego Comic-Con survive the Hollywood strikes? Ben, the answer is
yes and no, but mostly yes.
For the most part.
So
before you go on, let's just say hello to people real quick, because Ben, there's somebody that wants, it's kind of a tradition.
Blood good.
Also, Andy, we didn't see you. Were you down in San Diego? I was looking for you. I didn't know if you were down there or not. General Gilman,
couldn't make it.
Welcome to the Con Guy Show. You have a General Gilman watching your podcast. Let's have some fun. We always do. Fanversation said, woohoo. I think Carrie Lane might be part of Fanversation, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong, Carrie, or am I off?
Well, they're spelled exactly the same, so that's irrefutable evidence.
And Carrie sent some photos, Luke, to us if we want to grab those and see if we could share those. Yes, Katie?
Put a couple on there.
I was gonna say, when I was on the train back, because I took the train back to Los Angeles this year, which I'd done before, but it was a little bit different than the last time I did. But when I was waiting to get off at my station here back in LA, this one lady saw my badge still around my neck, and she was like, "Oh, were you at Comic-Con?" And I told her yes. And I was like, "Have you been?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was talking to her a little bit. I was like, "Oh yeah, like we have a panel. I got my badge through our podcast." And she's like, "Oh, what's your podcast?" And I said, "The Con Guy." And I think she said like her boyfriend or someone like watches our show or has listened to our show. So she was like, "It's actually on my watch list." So that was a cool story that I wanted to share with you guys, that apparently there are people just in the wild who know us. So if whoever it was who might be watching right now, I did not get your name, but welcome. If anybody we talked to and met this weekend is here, welcome. It was really nice to meet a few people, I think, that had said that they listened to our show. So
very cool, very cool. And of course, Lily. It's always a pleasure, Lily, to meet you. Lily was dressed as Princess Leia at our fantastic 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers show. And Lily, you took pictures on your phone of us. I don't think I got a copy of that. Maybe I did. If I did not, can you please send me a picture? If you can send it during the show, we'll show it on the show. All right, guys, we are going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, it was a different kind of con. The studios pulled out. Ben so eloquently at the beginning of our panel on Thursday night explained kind of the situation that we were all in. Ben, would you mind giving us a brief explanation of why this Comic-Con was different? We've talked about it at length, but just to refresh anybody who may not have heard our past episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so here at the Con Guy, obviously, as it says in our opening, we are involved in the entertainment industry. All of us are involved in some aspect, and we're writers, actors, wardrobe designers, et cetera, and I myself am a member of SAG-AFTRA. And as you may or may not have heard in the news and other sources, the Screen Actors Guild / American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. I hope I got that right. I'm tired. Anyway, as well as the Writers Guild of America, the WGA, are on strike against the AMPTP, Anyway,
Lots of letters.
There's all kinds of letters. Basically the film studios, the television studios, and executives, and I am so sorry. I'm spacing out so bad. Let me
fine.
concise
I was
that. Hold on,
enjoying looking at your room while you're talking.
Ben's got it.
With the
Ben's got it.
screen
Ben's
on
got
there.
it.
Yeah, I got it. Reboot. Here we go. So the SAG-AFTRA and WGA are both on strike against the studios right now because of a plethora of reasons, not the least of which are residual payments in the age of streaming, as well as the use of AI, which has been floated out there to, in some ways, replace writers and actors in the film production industry. So
Thus,
that's
the cover of our show tonight. It's a machine. So I just wanted everybody to get it. It's a machine, which was actually at San Diego Comic-Con out at Petco Park. So, anyways, I thought we were being clever.
I see what you did there. But anyway, so as a result, many who were supposed to be special guests promoting their current or upcoming projects pulled out of Comic-Con. This includes a lot of writers, actors, and other people in the entertainment industry that are supporting the strike efforts. So what does that mean for San Diego Comic-Con? Well, it means none of the giant Hall H panels that you're used to. No Marvel reveals, no DC, no Warner Brothers, no Sony, no Disney, et cetera, specifically with regards to big film and TV releases and the actors and writers tied to those. So we didn't see that this year. And we thought, oh my goodness, what is that going to do to Comic-Con? And
the sky is falling.
Exactly. And so many were chicken littling all over the place. And so, you know, what are you going to do if you are a badge holder for San Diego Comic-Con? And this is what I think happened. This is my theory. You get a badge at San Diego Comic-Con, one of the hardest large-scale events to get into on the planet, I think, at least up there somewhere. What are you know, all of a sudden now there's not going to be a, Spider-Man panel with the actors from the movie or whatever they were planning on doing. This is just a random example. What are you going to do? Not go? Like, wait, you already got the badge. Are you just going to be like, nah, and toss it in the trash pail? No, I think the majority of people who had badges were like, well, I got it. I'm still going to go. And maybe some of those people who spend year after year waiting in line at Hall H and not experiencing any of the rest of the offsite activations or activities or the maybe some of the other panels that are more comic specific or non-TV and film production specific, maybe those folks still came and they got to experience something new that they hadn't experienced at San Diego Comic-Con, or at least hadn't in a while. So it was packed. It almost seemed more packed than usual.
From the Hollywood Reporter,
that I just want to packed than usual.
Yeah, I'm going to read a little section from yesterday's Hollywood Reporter, and then we're going to throw it back to you guys. We're going to talk panels that we loved. There's one in particular I want to talk about. Panels we loved, off-sites we enjoyed, the floor, anything about the floor, and then anything else. So we are going to keep this fairly, well, I'm not going to promise anything, but we're going to try to keep it constrained. This is from the Hollywood Reporter.
Within an hour, right?
Yes. Because Katie is about to go see Barbie for a second time. So, all right. Yeah. This is what the Hollywood Reporter had to say about this last week's Comic-Con. It said, everybody said it was going to be an apocalypse, but the Hollywood Reporter says about 150,000 attendees still did indeed show up. There were no mass hotel cancellations or mass refunds issued for badges, which were purchased months ago. And an interesting thing happened on the way to Comic-Con Apocalypse. There was a renewed focus on comics and other graphic arts, even as Hollywood showed up in a diminished capacity. By all accounts, the floor had the most foot traffic in years, and retailers, artists, and creators benefited with increased sales and visibility. Tony Kim had the biggest single-day sale of his career on Thursday of Here Within, and the biggest 4-day sale that his company has ever had.
Wow.
The Hollywood
That's
Reporter said
awesome.
sales were up significantly for Funko, which doubled its footprint from last year. It was twice as big as it was last year, as well as for Dark Horse, Image, and Lego. DC, selling exclusives for the first time, I didn't realize that, enjoyed constant lines. And then people outside saw big stuff. There were roughly 30 building wraps outside, the most downtown San Diego has ever seen. And the list goes on and on and on. Guys, San Diego Comic-Con this year was a huge success. And Carrie said this, Project K, the first Indian film to have a panel in Hall H. It was an awesome panel. And Carrie's she's really good at covering the Indian film scene. So that was really cool.
Which was moderated by our friend Coy.
Oh, yeah. Coy moderated the Project K panel?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm pretty sure when we ran into him later, he was talking about.
And that's not the panel, but still.
It's not the panel. It's the after panel party, but
they're drinking orange juice in that picture, Jim's mom.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, we are okay. By the way, Carrie, if you want to hop on I know you got your own podcast, but if you want to hop on any time tonight, just let us know, and we would love to have you jump in. But I'm going to throw it over to you guys and ask you, panel-wise, what you guys see? Anything that kind of stood out, Mr. Pinky Finger?
Really quickly, I do want to make a note that the actors and writers that appeared on the Project K panel in Hall H are not scabs. They are not. If they are part of SAG, they are. This movie was not made in conjunction with the AMPTP,
right? So
this was not a struck project, so it could still be promoted. Just FYI.
And also, I want to clarify that it sounds like we are not in any way diminishing actors and writers being at San Diego Comic-Con. We want them back. We love them being there. We're just that's us. We are writers and actors and filmmakers, so we are there. We stand in solidarity. We just want people to know that San Diego Comic-Con is a great big world, and it did not have to be. The sky did not fall. Hall H fell for a big part, but not except for this film you're talking about here. But Katie, what were you gonna say?
I mean, just like I know on Twitter, I was seeing a lot of people say, "Oh, like this panel had an announcement at the beginning saying, we support the strikes. We support the strikes. We're standing in solidarity with the actors." So like, we did that with our panel, but so I also saw people on Twitter who were like letting the masses know that everybody at Comic-Con was also still in support of that it was in no way pushed aside. It was no way forgotten. It was very evident. I mean, there were I saw strikers outside Comic-Con. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I did see some people striking outside of Comic-Con. But I did find that because some people, they only get their tidbits of information online or on Instagram. They don't always know what exactly is going on in real time. So that's why Twitter, even though Twitter's a whole situation, a whole topic we could get into, but
Extra, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, I'm still going to call it Twitter because it's been Twitter for the entire time I've had it. Anyway.
Nobody learned anything from the debacle that was New Coke. I'm just saying. So
that's one thing that I think is really nice, a good tool in the sense that it did give people the opportunity to kind of hear the things that you don't always hear right away. And it was interesting, but by the way, I only went to one panel, so it won't be very much for me to say there, but.
Which panel was that, Katie?
I don't know. It was a kind of big panel though,
Guys, let's just stop beating around the bush. Let's talk about a great, big, awesome, years in the making panel facilitated by our own panel host extraordinaire, Mr. Ben Cleaver, hashtag BK421.
We've been planning this panel for 30 years.
30 years since I was 9 years old.
Since I was much older than that. All right. What
Jim
are we
is the
talking
vampire.
about?
He's over 600 years old.
Oh, I love it. And Luke, do we have, except for the clip I put on, do we have a clip from the panel? Cheeseman. Did you put one in?
I have photos, but I do have clips.
So the panel we're talking about, of course, the 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers panel, and we were ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic about this. It was just incredible. Ben, I would love to know your thoughts on this panel. And I'm gonna
Jim, first of all, I want to correct you. The name of the panel was the official Power Rangers 30th anniversary celebration.
That is
not the 30th anniversary panel or a Power Rangers. It was the official 30th Power Rangers 30th anniversary panel.
Dang straight.
Celebration. No, this was a blast, and this is obviously this has been building for several years. We here at the Con Guy, through just wonderful connections and great people who we love.
Thank you, Lily. The Con Guy panel was the best.
Thank you, Lily. Kind of fell into this connection with all these Power Rangers, and we started having them on the show back when we were in the old studio, and pre-pandemic, and then we did a couple of live panels before the pandemic. We did WonderCon and we did LA Comic-Con. Then when the pandemic hit, we did WonderCon online when they did that, and then we were so stoked because we did get accepted to do an online panel for San Diego Comic-Con 2020.
We were so excited when that happened. Yeah.
And we were blown away because the idea of getting your own, your organization getting a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, the granddaddy of them all, it's a pipe dream. It's incredible, and it's an incredible honor to be selected for that. And even though it was online and it was during COVID, we were still stoked out of our brains. And then when things started opening back up again, we did another WonderCon panel, and then lo and behold, last year our panel got approved for San Diego Comic-Con. And we were so stoked. We had 10, 11 Rangers on the panel last year. This many. And then again, we did a WonderCon panel this year and got approved for a San Diego Comic-Con panel again. And it just so happened to be the 30th anniversary. Yeah. And there we are. And we originally had a handful more Rangers on the panel, but of course, some of them ended up having to drop for understandable reasons related to the strike and a couple of other reasons, actually, not specifically the strike. But we still had a great panel with the 7 Rangers you see before you there. Of course, Christopher, Kate, and Lee. Oh. The picture's over the video, guys. The picture was over the video.
Yeah.
Who's producing this thing?
Uh-oh, Jib just...
Okay, there's the picture.
There's the picture.
Okay, sorry about that. I loaded a video and it started playing immediately. My bad. Luke, can you get rid of the picture, please?
Yep.
All right. So as Ben was talking...
We had these 7 great Rangers, and it was really fun. Of course, we couldn't really cover anything that's currently in production or recently released, including, and we did not mention this at the panel, but including the 30th anniversary film, movie that dropped on Netflix a few weeks back. Here's the video.
You can keep talking.
Oh, okay. We're doing it on silent, and so. We can talk about it now on the air here because we're not necessarily promoting it, but so it was just a blast just to have these Rangers from all these different generations of the show. Most of them, not even within the last decade or so. Most of them were from the late 90s and early 2000s, which was such a formative time for the show, where it started kind of fizzling out and then had this complete rebirth that really launched it into becoming a 30-year franchise. So it was really an honor. It was really humbling, and it was a blast to be there. And it seemed, the audience was really responsive. All the people that were there for the panel, the panelists were really great. I accidentally let Christopher Kamen Lee talk for way too long at one point, but it always sounded
Oh my
like
gosh.
he was. It sounded like he was going to finish his story every 10 seconds, and then he would keep going. And I was just like,
But there is one cool big surprise that happened, Ben. I got it right here. If you wanna, let's talk about it. This is awesome.
As per tradition now,
Someone shows up.
All of a sudden, Walter Jones from the original Power Rangers first and second season, I think. Are we playing the video with the sound?
This is always so complicated.
We can put it on Instagram later or something.
Yeah.
Well, as is his tradition now, he comes in late to the panel and
here we go.
You know, jokes around a little bit and says hi.
Anyway.
Oh, he's coming up. I didn't even know he was coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Jones, the original Black Ranger.
Walter's up on stage hugging each of the Power Rangers very quickly.
And he did give Ben a big long hug too, just in case.
Yes, he did. And Walter's not able to stay on because
absolutely, no question about it.
He explains it right here.
Oh, guys, I'm not gonna stay there long. SAG is having a strike, so I wasn't gonna come because of the strike. But we're here for 30 years because we have the most amazing fans, and that's you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and all my people are here in San Diego, and I hadn't seen them yet. So what's up, fellas? Well, we gotta hang out later. Well, you smell beautiful. Oh, you smell beautiful. I can't confirm. So good, man. I don't think they came up. They wanted me to come up here so you can tell me how I smell.
And he's so funny and he's so charming and he looks exactly the same he did 30 years ago. So I need to know did he make a deal with the devil? Did he make a deal with the Lord? What happened? I don't know. But he's so fun to be around, and we've got to kind of hang out and talk to him a little bit outside of our panels. And he's just a great guy. And I would love to be able to connect with a few other of the original Rangers, but that's always a great treat having him come in on the panel. And last year he did come in late, and then he got on stage and stayed on the panel till the end, which was great. But obviously he explained, SAG's on strike, so he needed to pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a blast. The crowd was great. They had great energy. The Rangers all had great energy. It was so much fun. And I think we're going to be playing the panel at a later date. Are we not, Jim?
Yep. In a couple of weeks, we're going to play the. No, that's not a secret. In a couple of weeks, guys, the entire panel in full, which San Diego Comic-Con themselves recorded it for us, will be available. We're going to be showing that in its entirety, which is going to be cool. Here's one more quick look right before we started backstage.
There are
children
in the
Okay, we won't be for real. We won't be naughty. I don't know, but I can't promise anything on cell when it's the floor. We won't be naughty.
I will say
Chris, he's like a loose cannon.
We all know that.
He's like a loose cannon. Especially these guys.
Listen, Ben's trying to herd the Power Rangers together to get them ready to go up.
Either way, that's very funny.
Psycho.
I was at the bottom of an escalator trying to find Dwayne.
Oh wait.
So we're gonna file in, right?
Did you see that fan or not?
We go all the way down.
All backstage. So it's always like such an adventure. Like, oh wait, Ben is not there right now, but it's always like such a big deal to get everybody up on stage. And these Power Rangers, they are full of energy. They're from all over the country. Like Dwayne flew in from New Zealand for this. Dwayne Cameron, and it was just so cool. And oh wait, I do have to say hello to somebody if I can. My Rena, hello. We're about to talk about our panel in just a second. So, anyways, I just want to say to anyone who was there, and Katie, I would love to, and we're gonna move on real quick. Katie, I would love to know what you thought about the panel, because it was just, I remember when Katie texted us and sent us a picture. We weren't even in the room yet. She goes, "Look, half an hour to go, and look how full the room is." It was 1,100 people, and it was half full. with 30 minutes to go. That's not a Comic-Con thing. That doesn't happen very often. I loved it. So Katie, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, you know, I went to our panel last year. Last year I sat in the back and kind of was like, I liked that because I could kind of watch everybody's responses and reactions. This year I did sit in the front, but I was able to see the full scale of the room. Although last year I did in the back row did stand on his chair once Walter Jones showed up. Like he stood on his chair. He was so excited to see him. But yeah, like honestly, I'm so proud that we were able to have such a good turnout. Ben, absolutely. I told Ben this afterwards. Was my favorite panel we've done, even though we had some longer stories than planned. It was moderated well. The energy was good, and we did hear some new questions. We heard some new responses since it was a new team of Rangers. Some of them haven't been there as much before, so I think that there was a good variety. And honestly, you know, you did mention this is the 30th, so it was at the very end closing with wow, I cannot think of his name right now, guys. I'm totally
Jason David Frank.
Thank you. I was like,
and we're gonna end the show with a little. Towards the end of the show, we're gonna like just kind of go out with some of that, yeah.
But you know, that is something that you have to be very careful approaching. And I know when we did our WonderCon panel, it was another thing where we're like, how do we navigate this with 30th and everything? So well done. And that was a really sweet moment. I think that there was a lot of heart in that panel because, you know, you can have a panel that's entertaining, you can have a panel that's funny, but I think it also had heart. It also had meaning, and everybody was so gracious. And I think that's one reason why Power Rangers has been able to last so long is because they're all in this thing for the rest of their careers for the most part, because they just continue to be Power Rangers for the rest of the time. So it was good. We had a good group. So
fantastic group.
You might have
and also Ben got compliments from like people as they were leaving, being like, "Great panel, dude! Great panel, dude!" So
it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, why? What? Why was anybody paying attention to me?
Luke,
I just want to say, yeah, just a couple of things. It just was a really good feeling for us as a group to give something to the fans like this, to put this together, because a lot of work goes into any panel people are doing at Comic-Con. But when you see a room full of people and the cheers of people, that just really kind of warms your heart to just even being part of, you know, bringing them together, you know, seeing what this does for people, because it really does, you know, have an effect on people's lives. Like we've talked to a lot of them and said, you know, people have struggled with like mental problems or just, you know, had hard days, but they put on the show and it like brightened their day. Like it brought something kind of to their life, and to kind of see all these people in the room and how filled the room was. Like, I don't think any of us were expecting that, because we were over one room over in a little smaller one last year, like one of the 5As or 5B or something. And then we got bumped to the big one, you know, that, you know, a lot of like big shows and stuff on. And we pretty much had a good bit of that filled. And it was really cool. What was really cool about this one as well was that we got such a big group of people that were on a couple different of the Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers in Space, and 5 of them were together. So kind of there was this even more so of the Power Ranger family aspect to that, and see how after all these years they still hang out, they're still close, and they even talked about that on the panel about them having dinner together and doing all that. So that was really cool to kind of just see these group come together, and, you know, just the unity of this whole series and what that's done for people over 30 years.
Yeah.
And I would like to take. Oh, go ahead, Isaac. Yes.
Like from the audience is one, you could tell that the audience really was impacted just being a part of it. And there's this one of the coolest thing I saw was like a married couple dressed as Power Rangers with a baby dressed as a Power Ranger, you know. And you know if you've been around for 30 years, it's like you could see the next generation of Power Rangers. I literally saw the next generation of Power Rangers growing up. So I thought that was something pretty cool. And for me personally, when Walter came out, now the impact that had for me was I know him primarily from how he influenced me as a dancer. Because there was a VHS tape called How to Learn Hip Hop Dancing by the Black Power Ranger, a VHS tape in the 90s, and I learned how to do the cool walk and the stomp. And to be able to see my dance instructor in person, that was something special for me. So
that's awesome. I love that. And can we take just one moment? I just really do. I mean, Ben, thank you so much. I want to just thank you for doing such a great job. Katie, you are one of the best Power Ranger wranglers I can imagine. Katie would just go running all over that giant convention center because they're not an easy group to say just show up someplace. They take some hurting just because they have so much energy. But Luke Cheeseman, who is the one who really pulled together all the signings and schedules and all these Power Rangers. Cheeseman, you deserve an Oscar for this. But since we don't have that, I bought him. Do you have it? Do you have what you got? We presented him with a special gift. It's not much, but it's a bottle opener in the shape of the.
Well, I should just open it. Why not?
All right,
because why not?
All right. While you open that, we got to move on because we only have like 24 minutes until we lose Katie. So I do want us to. I do have another panel I do want to mention before we move on. I've got a picture of it right here. Rena was just on saying, "Oh, go ahead." Oh, what?
I was gonna say. Oh,
can't this be the new Ryan dancing, the Walter Jones dance video?
This might be a part of it.
There's Walter.
Oh
this is awesome.
That's
I
that ridiculous?
I might have been channeling that energy as a kid. Just saying.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, we are watching Walter's dance instruction video from what year? What, 1995 maybe?
I think we just need this on the panel the entire time because this is like 40 some minutes long. Next time we do a panel, this needs to be the background screen.
Just to be the background.
Yeah.
All right. But one panel I do want to mention. Yes. One panel I want to mention real quick before what you want, Ben? I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to apologize for dipping so suddenly a few minutes ago. I heard my wife shriek, and I went to check what was going on, and my dog had brought a bird carcass into the house. And so I had to go dispose of the body.
Jim had that happen before.
Did you see who just popped up into our comments?
Oh, wait. Let me look.
We have some new people who want to say hi.
Wait. Flux capacitors, we're about to show some clips from you guys throwing the most amazing couple of nights in San Diego. But real quick, before we jump over that, I do want to mention one that's so cool to have you guys here. I want to mention one panel that I had the privilege of being on. It was the they renamed it. I'm gonna have to look it up. It used to be called How to Have a Full-Time Career on a Part-Time Schedule, but this year it was renamed. I've got it right here. It is called Success in Creativity, Making the Best of Your Resources. And it was a reimagined panel previously titled, Full-Time Creative on a Part-Time Basis. It's been there for 14 years. Next year is the 15th anniversary of this panel.
Oh, wow.
And in this panel, you can learn how to enhance your creative collaborations with practical advice on networking and communications, helping you unlock your creative potential and promoting effective resources. And Rena, she's you can see her, she's second from the right there. She was the one who just said hello. Rena owns her own company, and she is a dynamo with video production. Let me take the picture with video production, composing, sound engineering, 3D AI. She does everything. She does it all. And it's so great to have her on the panel. And it's so great to be a part of this panel. And here we go. She said, dang, we are old. No, she was cool. She had on her Jedi cosplay. That's the first time I've seen Rita cosplay. But the thing that was so cool, there was a woman who came up to us. We were during the panel, we all exchanged business cards, and we network, and artists meet writers meet composers, letterers. It's really geared a lot towards the creative industry of comic books and whatnot, but then also music and composing and just any kind of artistry. And it's such a good panel. And a woman came up to us, and she just made my day. She came up afterwards. She goes, "Hey, Jim, I want to talk to you." She goes, "Last year when you guys were talking, you gave me a bit of advice about what to do when you have only 1 hour a day free time. That's it. The rest of your day is packed. And I wish I could remember what the advice is we gave to her, but she goes, I want you to know it changed my year. And I am back. I have made more money, been more successful, and been happier than I've ever been in my life. That just makes me so happy when you hear stuff like that. Oh, she was cosplaying as dark Rena Ray. That was cool. Rena, so glad to have you on the panel. But if you guys, I will be posting some clips from that panel, and it's a panel I was really excited about. And one more panel I know we're running right now. We're going to run as fast as we can. Is this one? We were in a panel with our one of our co-hosts. His name is Thomas Parham from Florida. He was dressed as Ken. He looked ridiculous, but he looked cool. And they were on the panel about everyone online criticism of movies. And Chris Gore from Film Threat was on there. And Chris had a really interesting take. And I think I captured it right here. Okay, what's the name of him? Right here. Here we go. And Chris Gore, and go.
Chris has an opinion. Chris, go for it. First of all, I think a lot of movies coming from Hollywood lately have been terrible and garbage, and which is depressing. And things have become, as you pointed out, overly corporatized. I think sort of a corporate structure environment is not quite amenable to creativity, but I think it's about balance, right? Not only with the different types of perspectives that you investigate different points of view. I think it's also important to have what I call a diversified media diet. So I see all the big Hollywood movies, right? I saw Barbie, I saw The Flash, I saw Transformers Rise of the Beasts, but I always balance that by seeing a smaller independent film. So I'll see some small indie movie that you've never heard of. There's a movie coming out called Abruptio, which is brilliant. Every character is a puppet, but it's a human-sized human puppet. Look up the trailer for this movie, Abruptio. It's absolutely brilliant. So what I do is, because I think if I only watched Hollywood films, I would be fucking depressed. So
sorry.
What I do is I'll see a Hollywood movie, and then I'll see something like
Past Lives.
What's that?
Past Lives.
Jim didn't screen the video beforehand,
Past
so.
Lives was fantastic from 824.
All right, now we're all
There's
swearing.
a horror movie that's coming out. They've actually been doing screenings of
Broke the seal.
by two Australian brothers called Talk to Me. It's absolutely the best horror film I've seen this year. Really clever. These two Australian kids who were YouTubers. They were YouTube filmmakers who were doing these horror things. Their channel got shut down because their stuff was so graphically violent. And then they made this movie that got into Sundance. They're literally these kid brothers that love horror. And the movie Talk to Me is really good. I'm just saying balance, I think, is key. You know, for every big Hollywood movie you see that is pretty awful, you see a small indie movie. Now, having said that, I'll say this. I don't believe that Hollywood movies have an excuse to fail.
That's right.
The most money, the biggest stars, marketing department, that everyone in their classification, whether it's hair, makeup, wardrobe, props, whatever, like special effects, director of photography, everyone at the top of their game. There's no excuse for every Hollywood movie that's made should be the best movie ever.
So, and he went on for a little bit more, but I don't want to take all of our time. But Chris Gore
I was so confused if you were like responding in real time or if that was just you holding the camera. Yep, that's right.
It's like church. It's like church. I was like, preach it, Chris. Chris Gore's a very well-known. What's that, Ben?
I said, "Por qué no los dos?"
Yeah.
Why not both?
So any movies we make, we should send to Chris because he needs the balance. And he basically said he needs to always watch an indie film after watching.
By the way,
Hollywood
5 seconds, real quick. My wife and I watched a horror movie on Shudder called Slashback, and it is an Inuit-based in Canada horror film that takes place in a native community of Inuit people. And it's about an alien that's killing people, and it's super creepy and super fun, and it stars the children are the heroes of the film, and it's all female, mostly female children, young girls who are the heroes of the film, and it's really fun. And I think they basically used people from the town they filmed it in, because some of these people, you can tell they're not actors, but great.
By the way,
so after the four of us go see Barbie tonight, we need to come back and watch that to balance.
Come back and watch Slashback.
Cheeseman, you've seen this movie. I've seen this movie. We've interviewed this director of Slashback on the Skier Guy show. So I'm glad you brought that up. Guys, now that Ben brought that up, I'm going to put the link in there. We did earlier this year I think in January or maybe December, we interviewed the director of Slashback, and it was a fun movie. All right. Thank you for saying that. All right. I do want to, because we only have Katie for like 5 minutes here, guys. So I want to take the best chance we can. Let's talk about after parties. Let's talk about offsites, after parties, and then we're going back to the floor. But as far as parties, offsites, and whatnot, activations, Katie, I know Katie was at one that I was at, because she kept on saying, "Where are you? I'm looking for you." And then she never moved. "Where are you? I can't find you."
Because as soon as you start to move, it gets harder to find people. So, like, you know.
Yep.
Also, I had
speaking of the flux capacitors, the flux capacitors were at the party, and Luke, Katie, if you want to talk about it, and Luke, if you can find the video that we have from these parties.
So I went to the 90s party on Thursday night. Yes.
Yep.
I gotta say, it was fun. I'd been to one of XLE's parties, in 2019, and we all know that one was really epic because I met Jared Padalecki. But this one I really liked the environment and the vibe. It was a really cool setup. The decor was great. Also, I got to live like my 90s dream, and there was a big fake Double Dare nose photo op, and I always wanted to be on Double Dare 2000 as a kid, so I kind of lived my dreams by pretending to reach my hand up the giant nose. So I mean, it was successful. I was dressed as Reggie Rocket. It was a fun time. I really liked it.
And the Power Rangers were some of the guests of the night. Yep. So it went well. Hey, Luke, can we turn the sound on and hear a little bit?
No, sure. I think these are the actors who are short. That guy was pretty cool.
I was like the manager from Next Time Right.
Yeah.
I love him. He's hysterical.
Yeah, so it's cool. Bernie would get some of the actors on stage too to kind of be part of it. So
yeah, it was a nice setup too.
One. Go ahead.
But no one is as cool as these guys.
Greg. That guy kept pointing back for some reason.
Dude, everyone loved the Ghostbusters soundtrack. Everyone was vibing with that.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments.
Stop pointing backwards, dude.
So much fun.
That was cool. Whoever that guy was, there's Isaac. There's this guy, he kept walking in front of everybody, then he would turn around and point back towards the back, and we're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Stop pointing!
So they had the Wednesday night party, the Thursday night party, the Friday night party. Wednesday was Ready Player One. It was an 8-bit, 80s theme party. The 90s theme party was on Thursday night, and then Friday night was the Monsters Ball, which was. And Luke, do we have any pictures from the Malibu Daydream experience, which was the VIP experience underneath all of this, kind of in the lower levels? I don't think
I do have a picture with me hanging out in the Barbie lounge with Patrick David and Christopher Kamen Lee right here. So yeah, it was a downstairs area, but it was really cool, and they had a whole wardrobe thing. People were trying on Barbie type clothes and all that.
All you can eat cotton candy.
Yeah. Patrick David dressed me in Ken/Barbie clothes, that were all 80s looking.
So, Katie, before we lose you, do you have any other memories of the weekend that you would like to share?
Or what'd you buy, Katie?
I honestly only went to one booth when I was leaving and bought a couple keychains. And I bought I went to my friend's booth again, the Con Rangers. I don't have them to show you guys, but I bought I think like 7 more badges. The Con Rangers is a company that makes little patches that are Boy Scout like type patches for different achievements you can do at conventions. They've been buying them for I don't know how long now. They always have an exclusive one. This year's exclusive was found the new booth, because usually they were in small press. This year they were on the actual floor. And then I ended up buying like 6 badges. They're like $6 each. You can either iron them on or sew them on. I sew them on because they're like stickers. I have like anxiety that I'm gonna like not be able to use it again, so I sewed them on. But I bought a bunch of them, and then I ended up going to the hot tub at the hotel on Friday night. Best idea ever, by the way, y'all. I've never done pool time at a convention, but man, it will rejuvenate you. Like, it will rejuvenate you. So I highly recommend. But they had a badge that was prioritized pool time, and I'd never done that. And since I did, I went back the next day. I was like, hey, Aiden, I need to buy this badge because I finally did it. They were like, it's great, right? Like, it's a great thing to do. So they also do scavenger hunts during the convention. You go pick it up at their booth, and if you have to do a certain amount of things from each column, and you get a little badge that says the year on it if you finish the scavenger hunt. I've never done it, but that is something they do. So shout out to the Con Rangers. They're a small business. They had a collab with Peanuts, but those badges went fast. They were at the Peanuts booth, and they went fast.
Yes, they did, because I went looking for them, and
you had to
also
be
had to
on
make
top
Camp
of it.
Snoopy.
But it was a cool little collab. It's a great collab to do with something called the Con Rangers. But the only other thing I did, was aside from walking the floor, is I did go to the Diablo 4 booth, which if you guys have been to Comic-Con, Blizzard always has some sort of thing in the back corner of the convention. This year they did, but they had a big booth this year. Usually it's just game demos. But this year they had an experience. It was about a 15-minute wait when I went, which was not bad. I think it's because a lot of people didn't know about it. Waited in line. They took you into a room and they showed, a scene from the game. And then after that, they would pull you into a second room that was set up like a church. And there was an actor in there who was a minister, and he was basically doing like the whole bit of like, calling people out, like, you can't be on your phone and all these different things. And then the presentation starts. He's doing his sermon, and then Lilith on the massive screen behind him pops up and basically takes over. And he got killed. They wanted to do more, but like it was still an interesting experience that you wouldn't really know about unless people told you about it. So I did kind of like the whole. I've done like the little tiny show things the studios do sometimes, like Once Upon a Time did it years ago. But I really like those little tiny things. And usually the line's really long. It's 15 minutes. We got a little crown, whatever. But I wanted to do the Lego build your own minifig. It was impossible. I tried. I went online at like 9:45, and it was like, oh, you're number 200 in line. And then like it would go down and then go up again and then down and up again. So like I was like, really? And then by the time I finally got through, it was like, oh, we're all booked up for the day. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's building your own. But the Lego booth was cool. I don't know if you guys went. Yep. It was a really cool booth. They had build your own Lego pegs in the afternoon.
There was the Blockbuster Brickbuster one.
Yeah. But they had the second half of the day, like 12 to closing, was when they had to build your own bricks, which you had to have a reservation for. And then before that, there was like shopping and stuff that you could buy new things. They were also doing giveaways on Twitter all weekend. So that was my con experience. I'm going to head out. That's my social. If you guys follow me on any social media, Twitter, TikTok, everything. I can't think right now. But that's it. Katie_Christine for the people who are listening. Christine with a C. I am also on the Con Girls. So hopefully we'll plan a Con Girls content soon. Hoping to possibly go to KCon, and if we do, I will talk all about KCon. Which Ben,
before you leave,
Ben,
Katie, before you leave though, who was the K-pop group that caused such a commotion at Comic-Con this year? I had to actually duck into a room and wait out because a mob of people screaming and hollering, and and Comic-Con could not clear the walkways. What was going on?
They performed at the fandom party, which Ben went to.
Which Ben's going to tell us about in a second. Yeah.
Doja Jong, I think it is. I can't remember exactly the order in which their names are, but yeah, they have the song Perfume. That is they just debuted this subunit just debuted in the spring, but they are a 5th subunit of NCT that performed at Comic-Con, and that's a pretty big thing to have like a K-pop artist perform at Comic-Con.
Yes.
It's just wild to me. But I am on, K-pop Con or K-pop Twitter a little bit, so I saw even on my timeline people being like retweeting it because they took a picture outside and were like, "We're performing the fandom party," and I think that's pretty cool because it's definitely bringing in another pop culture thing that's massive, and also bringing in new audiences to it, which K-pop is fun. I didn't know about it. I didn't really fully dive into it, but for 34 years, but I gotta say, it's a vibe. So, and I'm sure. I mean, Ben, did you like the show?
Yeah, I took a little video. I need to send that to you. The energy was great. Like they come on the stage and there's this big group of people that are just like, ah, and they're up there singing and dancing. And I'd never heard this group before, so I didn't really recognize anything, but I mean, they seemed
Which party is
like
it,
a really
Ben?
awesome group. What?
Which party are you speaking about?
This was at the fandom party.
Yeah, tell us all about it.
I mean, it was great. It was up on kind of a rooftop area at the Hard Rock Hotel. It was, I don't know, it was packed. It was fun. There were all kinds of people there. Apparently there was a pinball machine that I missed. There was an open bar. It was, I mean, just tons and tons of people. Some that you recognized, some that you don't. And you just wander around and talk to people and rub shoulders and rub elbows and wait in line for the bathroom. But no, it was a big fun party. Lots of music, great DJs, and yeah, just like one of these big old parties with tons and tons of people. Like there were literally hundreds of people at this party, and
but super exclusive too.
Yeah, you had to.
It is a very exclusive party. We're all
and like for the people who are K-pop fans who might be listening or come across as like going to like a small, even though it's a big party, it's still a small venue in which to see an artist. To be able to see like a K-pop artist or any artist in a small venue like that is a really fun experience that you won't ever forget.
It was a blast.
Yeah. So with that said, y'all, I'm gonna head out. You guys all have a good night. If you guys haven't seen Barbie, though, you should see it. It's great. I cannot wait to hear what everybody else.
We're all going to see it tonight, Katie. We're gonna see it right after you.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye, Katie. The con girl. All right. So, guys, we are going to
real con guys.
Yeah. Now we're down to the testosterone part of the show. We are going to speed through. We're going to speed through this part of the show because we're losing time here. Anyways, Ben, do you have any other after parties, off sites, or things that you experienced that you want to share about?
Let me see. Let's see. Wednesday night, I popped by. Oh, I can't remember the name of the party. It was fun. It was much smaller though. And that was a lot of people networking in the comics industry and other areas of entertainment. Thursday night was the fandom party. Friday night was the IGN party, which I was able to pop up to for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
That one did have a general admission entrance and it was free. I thought that was like an invite only thing. And my wife went because of her work. And then she texted me after she got there and she's like, there's a GA entrance and apparently the line isn't that long. I did end up waiting about a half an hour. But a lot of people left because there was a big vent right over where the line was outside, and it was blowing what smelled like hamburger air, very, very warm hamburger air down onto the sidewalk. And all these people that like thought they were super cool, and they looked like they thought they were something. They were like, "Oh my gosh, what is all this hamburger air?" And I just stood there, and I'm like, "But it's a dry heat." And so some of them like dipped and just left and went somewhere else. And this was in the same location as the fandom party at the kind of rooftop area. it wasn't like the rooftop like 20 stories up. It was like a third story up rooftop area at the Hard Rock Hotel. And again, it was a blast. A lot of people rubbing elbows and networking, and a lot of people in entertainment, comics, various publishing and special effects and all that kind of stuff. And again, it's like, I don't like, what was great about the party? I'm like, well, it was a party. A bunch of people were there. Everybody was happy and they were talking to people they'd never met before. Like, that's what a party is to me. Like, you know, music, drinks, meeting people, and just enjoying the atmosphere. And, you know, both of those parties that I dropped into had all of that. And so that's what makes a great party, you know?
That's right.
It's
And
fun.
Cheeseman, do you have any before we, because we were able to go to a really cool party, and I am actually uploading the pictures right now. Did you have any pictures from the Bad Idea party, Cheese?
Yeah, just this one.
Okay, cool. And I got a couple more.
That's us. Patrick David, the Psycho Red Ranger, met us over there as well. Yeah, and he grabbed a meatball out of my hand as I was eating it, and then ate my meatball, and then I had to go find another meatball.
He is a fun guy.
He really is a Psycho Ranger.
He was.
But the folks at Bad Idea, they're a publishing company. They had a lot of their comic book publishing company. And they some beautiful panels from comic books up. But they had a party over. It's called the Bali High Restaurant. You see the San Diego skyline behind them out there on the bay. The convention center is directly across the bay from us there. Let me see. This is the outdoor setting, and it too was sort of an open bar. I mean, it was like 2 or 3 tickets you got, and then they had food
they gave you 2 tickets. They had some ready to go, more like in punch bowls, a few different drinks, and then they had a bar that you could wait in line for and use the ticket for either thing. And then they had hors d'oeuvres going around where they had, you know, like the meat on a stick kind of things, the meatballs, and then they had, you know, some other things as well. But yeah, it was
Carrie
a cool
said
little party.
IGN was sweet. I want to mention two more real quick offsites. One was the Whatnot offsite, which was the very loud DJ infused offsite, which was directly across from like Hall D of San Diego Comic-Con. Across the train tracks, you go over there, and Whatnot is kind of like the home shopping network for comic stuff now. And you went into this place, they had all these booths set up where people were streaming and selling stuff. They had a bar upstairs, and me and Greg, we walked upstairs, we sat down and we looked around, we got a drink, and there's Rob Liefeld just sitting there streaming right there behind us. And it was really cool. So that was a very cool offsite. Right next door though, and where's Lily? Yes, Lily, Peanuts. The Peanuts, the Camp Snoopy offsite. I do have the shirt I actually got on the convention floor, but I did go over to the Camp Snoopy offsite. I think I went a little late because they did have a lot of stuff to buy. I didn't go until Sunday. Stupid Jim, because I love it. But once I got in there, half the stuff was gone. But I posted a real cool picture. Like I say, my Snoopy and Peanuts, that's my jam. I love those guys. All right, Luke, why don't you super fast? Let me see. We have a comment here. Let's get ready. Okay, Luke, if you can super fast, and this is speed round, take us through the pictures you got, and it'll just kind of
All right.
Okay.
Here's some just pictures quickly through the floor. Some of the Animaniacs people were there. They did probably some of those voiceover panels, but this was a big group shot after on the floor. So a lot of times, you know, people do signings after. So I'm pretty sure he had a booth several days. I saw him. Then our buddy David Boer.
That's inside Whatnot, right? No, it wasn't.
That's on the floor.
Go.
Keep going.
Yeah, David Boer was on the floor doing his comic stuff. There's another one where we went to a special pop-up where he was doing little Kanto statues. He was showing us those on a show. Which
make the picture go away.
Right here. Look at that. A nice silver one.
I got one too. We did some special Kanto memorabilia. These things are awesome. All right.
Those
cool.
are so
I think
cool.
He even said he bought some of them up himself, which is funny.
Sell them online later.
Sell them online for later. And he actually signed the bottom
scarcity.
Yeah, nice guy.
There's his
Then
autograph.
they did a Dazed and Confused 30th anniversary thing, and I ended up doing an interview talking about that movie.
That was over at the Petco Interactive Zone.
Yeah, the Petco Interactive Zone. And then the interview with the vampire thing was one of the coolest things. They did this whole, we got to be part of kind of the press thing, go in, and they had like an open bar. They had these really good kind of like donut type things that were really good. And then they just had actors that were performing and really good in character. And they were like handing out, there was actually 4 different posters that they gave out. These are the only ones they had left by the time I was grabbing them. But
this was an
really,
offsite that was across the street from the convention center at where they usually had like the Walking Dead and whatnot.
Yeah, and that's just real quick as we're talking about it. This is just kind of the vibe. They created this whole kind of like New Orleans type thing where you're like almost part of the show and everything, but the performers were really good actually.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah.
And Luke got her number.
Of course.
She was in character.
Well, thank you for
she didn't
having
have
us here.
phones
This
back
is
in
a
the day
lovely
with this character.
place. Lots of great
I could have.
treats and like the
They had
pastries.
beignets and food and
Yeah.
drink and jazz singing and dancing. It was the whole New Orleans street. It was really cool. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Very cool. See if
All right.
there's anything else. And of course, they're celebrating 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park and did a lot of cool like toy stuff there. A lot of good cosplays and group cosplays right here. We got
Magatu.
the zoo later. Magatu. It's pretty awesome.
All right.
And
going?
we saw Shag on the floor. I mean, it's always good
Shag,
seeing
the
him at Palm
famous artist
Springs
of
or other
mid-century
sites.
modern
The
and
tiki-
tiki.
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can go ahead. What were you trying to say?
No, I just said the famous mid-century modern artist who specializes in tiki.
Yeah, and he had some special like Star Wars themed stuff there that was really cool. And I bought one of his Joker things, and they're very affordable for a Shag piece because Shag, you know, he's a popular artist and stuff. But you get these little like head type things you can hang on your wall for signed for only $100, and they ended up selling out at the show, which was pretty cool. And I will say this at the party, one of my highlights that me and Isaac did is we played the old school Turtles arcade game, and we had unlimited lives, and we played all the way to the end and beat the game. So, and then
No
had to
way.
pay even a quarter.
Shredder.
Yeah.
It was like finally, I remember playing that as a kid, and it was the hardest game, like because you know, like got incrementally like more difficult, and like I don't know how many quarters I just threw at that game.
Yeah.
But then to like be at the party and then like have the unlimited lives, and then Luke and I
Yeah.
just like beat it. And I was like, finally, Shredder. You know, it's like we face off. So that was a cool experience for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of Turtles, real quick, they had a lot of stuff going on there at Comic-Con, and they had a special pop-up where they were handing out free pizza. Did that pop up on screen?
Nope, we did not see. Oh, there it is. We see it.
Okay.
And also, I just want to say, I think we have Ben for a limited amount of time tonight as well. So Ben, just let us know when it is your time to check out, and you'll give your grand exit, and then because we're going to show a couple of videos that might be a little bit more lengthy than you're going to be able to stay. All right,
And
keep
here's
going.
the only cosplay I did, which was Snake from Escape from New York. That's at a party. There's Carrie Lane, and here's another one. And somehow Greg looks super skinny because of the shadows. This photo. This is us at the Nostalgia nightclub.
You can see Carrie and her friend over on Fanversation, another podcast, which is a sister podcast of ours. Anything else, Cheese?
Yeah, just again as the Tiki Freaks, which is our other website, we did a lot of Tiki things. So there's a lot of Tiki kind of in the San Diego area. So this is us at False Idol. And again, this was
my
us
first
when we
Tiki
went
drink,
to
so
that
thank you, Jim.
to that other event.
Oh, cool.
And then our friend
Is our
Nathan
friend
came by.
Nathan?
That's outside of False Idol. Yep.
Cool. And I think that's about. Oh, wait, I did want to say this real quick. Right after our panel, there's been gently holding me, and our friend Daniel Hancock from Terminus Media. He was there promoting the book Dominion, a brand new comic book out, which tells the Old Testament story of the fall of the House of Saul, but from the perspective, it's an outer space adventure, and instead of people, they have lions. It's very cool, very cool. And I think that's all we have here. That's all the pictures that Luke has. So, Ben, we are going to end with a couple of videos, just kind of walking across the floor, and then one last one with the Power Rangers talking about Jason. But would you like to go ahead and give your farewell at this point?
Yeah,
Or show us what you got.
Beg pardon?
Or show us what you got. Did you get anything cool?
Oh, yeah. Shoot. What did I get? Oh, yeah. Real quick. I did get a few things. Hold on. Okay. So, I'd been looking for a vintage. I didn't care. I just wanted to display it, but a vintage Dengar action figure from Empire Strikes Back. He's one of the bounty hunters. I have a little group of them kind of back here. I've been missing him, so I picked that up. Just loose out of the package, but vintage. I picked up this super rad Beast Kingdom 1989 Batman figure that he's
really
got
cool.
Interchangeable faces and hands and weapons and arms and all that kind of stuff. I am going to put him on display. I haven't opened him up yet. And then
would you do unboxing? I got to know more.
I can do an unboxing video, sure.
Yes.
When did that come out?
I'm not sure actually. I'll have to do a little research.
I'll get it more info about that later then.
Yeah. And then I stopped by the NECA booth. I was actually picking up something else for a friend of mine, and then I saw this.
Oh my gosh, you got
Teenage
it?
Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
What?
The Shogun figures from the Turtles in Time movie. It's unofficially called Turtles in Time. But yeah, so I've never bought a brand new NECA figure before, so I decided it was time to pull the trigger on that.
That's amazing.
That is sweet. That is sweet.
Was there a long line for that?
No, I walked right up. It was on Saturday or Sunday.
I did the same thing.
I was supposed to get that for him.
Well, no, on Wednesday and Thursday, preview night and Thursday, the NECA line was way too long to get into. But and then maybe even Friday, but like on Saturday, Ben, that's when I went and I even went up and said, "Are you guys open?" They said, "Yeah," and it was cool.
Yeah, I think it was on Saturday that I picked that up. So I just walked right up and picked it up. Very affordable too.
Any closing thoughts from San Diego Comic-Con 2023 from you?
Well, I think this might have been a good. I think it might have been a good thing that the big major studio Hall H panels weren't there, because I think it may have exposed a lot more people to not only the offsites, but especially the convention center floor, and other panels, of course, that they may not have otherwise gone to. And I'm hoping perhaps that exposed a lot of folks to just the joy and the excitement and the fun of walking around on the con floor and seeing what the artists are making. Artists Alley was fantastic this year. And seeing and getting to know all these smaller companies that are, they're making art and they're making figures and they're doing all this kind of stuff. That's really what we're all about. And so, maybe in the future when Hall H comes back, of course, the line will be as long as it's always been, but maybe some of those people will make the decision to pop out a line and go back into the convention center and pay an artist for their work and get something really awesome in return. So I'm excited about that. I always love San Diego. It's always sad leaving. I was so tired this year at the end of it that I was like, okay, I'm good leaving San Diego this year, but I'm excited already for next year's San Diego Comic-Con and what it's going to bring and what the con guy is going to bring to it.
It is. We're excited.
So,
Ben, it's always a pleasure. I don't think I got to spend as much time with you this year as I would have liked. It was, you know what? And it was because there was so much to do and see. Plus this was holding me up this year, but still it was a good year. And I think you're completely right. People discovered comic books and animation and a lot of and Klingon lifestyles and things that they may not usually go check out this year. And I think that was a good thing.
Absolutely.
Right,
Well,
Matt?
I'm gonna check out before we show the videos, but really quickly, thank you to everybody who watched the show tonight. Thank you to our broadcast partner, that hashtag show, and our sponsor, Neft Vodka, reminding everybody to please drink responsibly. Isaac, it was a pleasure to re-meet you tonight, and that's it for me tonight. Thanks for watching the Con Guy, and remember, I'm always drinking out of this red cup because whenever Ben Cleaver shows up, it's always a party.
All right.
Good
See
night,
you next
guys.
time, Ben.
All right.
All right. See you, buddy. And then Isaac and Cheese, we are going to finish up the show. Let's see if we can do this. Ooh. Oh, that maybe that's not so.
We look
Now
like
let's go
the
back.
Three Stooges.
Now we look kind of odd, yeah. We're not going to spend a lot of time, but we did have a couple of videos we wanted to share here, and everybody was kind of.
Well, should we do what we got real quick?
Yeah,
before we do that.
I want to see what you got, Luke Cheese Man. And
Yeah. Well,
Isaac, did you pick anything up?
Go first.
Yeah, I got a few things, but mostly for others.
That's cool.
So I got my producer a bunch of Funko Pokemons.
Oh, very cool. Hey, wait.
You know,
Can we see which ones they are?
Yeah. I got Mewtwo, Pikachu.
All right.
And of course, I gotta get a Charizard.
Yep.
Those actually look really good as Funkos. Like they
really
style of
do.
Their animation translates very well.
Yeah, and like one of the other things that I got, which was really cool, because obviously, like, my perspective, I'm coming in, kind of into the Web3 NFT space, and I was able to connect with this group that's doing it's an NFT project, but it's turning into a comic book called Oni Force, and like, so we've got this art, and they're building not just an NFT just with a bunch of images. These are characters, and they're building a whole universe for, and the writer on that is Paul Jenkins or Perkins, or wait, I'm gonna make it sure. Paul Jenkins. Yeah, and he wrote Wolverine Origins. So it's really cool. The thing that I saw was that, like, I've been kind of in this NFT space, and it was awesome to see that there's NFT projects coming in various areas. Like, one was the comic book with this. I saw Cool Cats, and they're a big NFT project, and they're getting into animation. And I stopped at their booth and was awesome. And I stopped at the Pudgy Penguins, and they're getting into more of the like digital, like physical toys. So they started off as NFTs, and now they're doing plushies and all these different toys. And then the other really cool thing, it's seeing all of them coming in different angles, but they're doing it right, because they started with these sales and an NFT. Like, well, what do you do with them? And these projects are actually building like intellectual property. They're building brands. They're building like stuff that's going to be cartoon shows, like new comics, new media. And so it's cool seeing that, like, there's a handful of projects that are doing it right, and they're making their presence known, like in the con community, and I think that was something really cool. And the other thing that was, for me, pretty dope was stopping by the Aspen booth, Aspen Comics, with Michael Turner's, like, with Fathom, Soul Force, I believe. And I went to their panel, and I got like a comic and a signed edition of some stuff, some different images. I'm holding on to those because the cool thing that was like the news that was sort of like snuck in under the radar is that David Mizell, who is the like architect of the Marvel universe, he was the one that helped build the studios. He's now with Aspen Comics and creating their universe. He's working on producing that. So they've got plans to do like a whole range of things, and they're building out the Ecos universe. They're kind of saying it's like Marvel meets Avatar. And, it was definitely like a panel that was like for the fans, and like, hey, we're just kind of keeping this chill. Those of you here, like, you're knowing about it now, but this is going to roll out and it's going to be big. And so that was a really cool experience. And that they had minted NFTs of Michael Turner's original art. And they had turned that, and it had been raising funds through that and everything. So that was a really cool to see, like, my corner of the universe and how it's
cool.
intersecting into that. So that was even though it was a more of experience, that was a gift for me to be like, okay, hey, this new part has its place. Like, in Comic-Con, it has its place in new media, comic books, like products, entertainment, all of that. So that was a really exciting thing for me. So I have a signed edition from Oni Force and all that kind of stuff. So that was my little yes, that community is starting to represent.
Yep. All right. Anything from you, Cheeseman? Wait, Isaac, are you finished with your show and tell?
Yeah. Oh, and
go.
I got my friend who's taking care of my dog in Medellin some stuff, but it's a secret, so I can't show it.
Okay.
But it's
all right.
It's pretty
All right.
Spoilers for them.
All right, Luke, Cheeseman on the couch.
Well, of course, you were mentioning the claw. This is it officially. It's kind of heavy. It's a bottle opener, but it's kind of fun, and I can terrorize kids like Alan Grant did with it. And again,
that's because he did a kick butt part job putting the panel together, my friend.
Yeah. And we this is the David Boer thing again, the Canto, which I'm not sure if those are still on sale or not. And then I'm always a sucker for anything, the old Spielberg. So I got these little card decks of Jaws, which they did a really good job on the way the cards actually look with the kings and what they're advertising. And then they have the ET one as well. So these were 2 for $15, or it was $8, I think, $8 or $9 for single one. So I ended up buying 2. I was tempted to buy more because they did have other movies like Back to the Future, and they had Jurassic Park. I've been collecting these NECA figures of Back to the Future. This was a really good sculpt on this Doc Brown. I really like the face on this because
look at him! Look
another one.
Awesome.
But I'm gonna be opening this one, and this is one I'll be keeping and opening.
Those are
and
great
then
expressions on his face.
The disembodied head is amazing.
Exactly. And then they were throwing these out at the party. Our friend Greg was able to get one of these, which is Roosevelt's, one of my favorite shirt companies that makes really good shirts. They did this special shark one. I think this was an old shirt they did for Shark Week like a year or two ago. But
for people who are listening, what is it that you're holding up, Luke?
It's basically a koozie for a can of soda or beer or anything that's in a can.
And what's the design?
It's shark heads.
It's covered with Jaws.
Shark heads.
Yeah.
Shark heads.
Cool.
I don't think
you looked out with that because it was just being thrown out to the crowd.
Yeah. And then speaking of Jaws, got this nice poster by this artist. He used to work for he's done work for DC and Marvel, but he's doing his own individual stuff, and he's doing his own comic, the Wraith of God Blood Hunters. So he's doing a Kickstarter for his next thing here. But this artist is really good. I like his style. I think I might try to check out his graphic novel and other stuff.
Nice.
But, really cool artist, signed it for me and everything. It was down to the last couple, and on the way I picked this up at Target, got another little Marty plush guy. So definitely my mix of the stuff I collect, more of the Back to the Future, Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T. Got a little bit of each to add to my collection.
All right, very cool. And real quick, I'll show you mine. Our friend Jake. I want Jake to know something. Mr. Jake, Jacobus System. I stood in line. I got it. I didn't stand in line too long. NECA booth was open on Saturday night. I got the glow-in-the-dark creature from the Black Lagoon. One for you and one for me. I'm really excited about this. I guess these are the same kind of glow-in-the-dark things. You hold them up to the light, you get them all charged up, and then they glow in the dark and stand in the corner at night and scare the living out of you. All right. And then the shirt, Cheeseman called me from across the convention floor as I was hobbling around, And this shirt is a shirt that I saw last year, but it was not in my size at one of the booths. So the shirt it's a Hawaiian style tiki shirt with Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and Lucy on it with a lot of flowery stuff. I just love this shirt so much. I'm glad. Cheeseman, thank you for finding that. And then real quick, I did bring home quite a few comic books. Here's some. As everybody who watches the show knows, I'm a big fan of Godzilla. Here is the Godzilla Here There Be Dragons. It's a brand new comic series. It just launched at San Diego Comic-Con. So this is the issue number 1. So I guess I'm going to get all the rest of them. This is something when we went to the tiki themed party on Saturday night out at Bali High, we met somebody in line. He gave me this comic book, Musk versus Zuck. It's the cage match between Elon Musk and Zuckerberg from Facebook. That's going to be fun. And I don't know if I've talked about it before, but my 2 favorite villains in the Marvel and DC universe, for Marvel, it is Galactus, and in DC, it is Darkseid. And so I got this series of comic books called Hunger. This Hunger is all about Galactus. I guess it's all Galactus. But then there's a Darkseid versus Galactus, the Hunger crossover between DC and Marvel. I could not, $25. I could not pass this one up. So that's a few of the things I got, and I got a few little small things, but for the most part, that is what I came home with from San Diego Comic-Con. And we do want to stop. We don't want to go too long tonight. The 2 videos we're going to show you real quick. We just want to give you a real quick look about what the convention floor kind of looked like. And Luke and Isaac, if you guys want to, we can talk through it. And then we do want to just end, as everybody knows, the Power Rangers really suffered a tragedy this past year with the loss of one of their own. And so some of them were talking about that during our panel. It was just a really, really special moment. Is that a Jeff Granito shirt? I'm going to have to go off camera, take a look at the tag. And I don't know, Lily. I will take a look. Anyways.
Check it off.
Take it
so anyways.
Take it off.
Take it off.
So here we go, guys. First, let's start with a tour through the floor of San Diego Comic-Con. And we just walked past the Lego brick. I don't know what that shark is right there. I'm going to go right there. All right.
Thank you. You're welcome.
That was the coolest.
I just realized that I was muted. I am so sorry. Luke and Isaac, are you guys talking to us?
We weren't talking. I was so confused what was going on there.
No, you guys are supposed to be walking us through what we're seeing here.
You're the one walking.
I left the microphone. Anyways, we're walking through. We're going past the Marvel booth right now. The Marvel booth was very large this year. And as we all know, Marvel Studios did not come in official capacity to the con this year, but they did send the Marvel comic books. They sent a great big display. They had some stuff advertising, like Spider-Man 2 up there being advertised here. It's kind of cool. We have this guy sitting here between two cosplaying Spider-Man.
I stopped by the Marvel booth, and actually that was one of the cool things. They Vivi Digital Collectibles was collaborating with them, and I was able to get my first Vivi digital collectible, and it was a Fantastic Four digital comic. So that was a really cool thing to, for new users to be able to get.
Nice. And I apologize. I didn't know my microphone went on mute when I started this. So we're walking behind the Marvel panel, as you guys can see. You can barely see the other side of the convention hall. We're walking next to Entertainment Earth, which is a very large presence on the floor this year, and a lot of things you could purchase up there. Oh, look, there's a toy.
Like the biggest the floor's ever been.
Yeah.
The Transformer, like different like toys and collectibles there were out of this world. I saw these like 2 foot tall, like.
Can I call out real quick though? Can I call out real quick? This is the Boom Studios we're looking at right now. This is where many of the Power Rangers actors from our panel were doing their signings. All right, back to you, Isaac. What were you saying?
Yeah, just all the Transformer stuff was like incredible. Like I saw like ones that were actually transforming. They had all these like sort of almost like Gundam style kind of like Autobots and Decepticons. I saw something that was like they were 2 to almost 3 feet tall, and they were the most amazing, like beautiful Transformers I've ever seen.
Yeah, Carrie was saying that shark we saw was from Zom 100. It's a brand new anime. Amanda Yallen, good to see you. Happy birthday. It was so good to see you, Amanda, at all of the events. We're walking by Storm King Comics on the right-hand side. Oh, there's Tony, Hero Within.
People trying on jackets.
This is his Star Trek kind of like build your own jacket experience that he had on the floor this year. Biggest year ever for Tony. And guys, this was hard walking through the convention floor like this. I may not go through this whole we're almost at the end of the video. Might as well finish it. So there's Disney Publishing had a bookstore with all kinds of books on the floor. That was really cool. Oh, September 16th is Amanda's birthday. It's in 2 months. We will have to have you on the show, Amanda.
But it's your birthday now, too.
It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. Every day is her unbirthday, except for one. All right, and now we're kind of getting down. Let me see. What's down in this area? Do you guys know? Are we going towards Artist Alley? Oh, it was so big.
Artist Alley was in the other direction, but these were a lot of, like, the publishers, like different comics. There was a lot of really cool comics. The one you were telling about that was the House of Saul, kind of reimagining. They're in this area.
Cool. Oh, Trauma. It's a little bit different than the Christian Science. I mean, the Christian Publishing Society.
Yeah.
So we're at that's it. Let me remove that video. Whew. That's exhausting just seeing that like I was hobbling through, but that's exhausting. But Isaac, you were able to see the floor quite a bit, and just give us your thoughts about the floor before we show our final video on YouTube.
Well, it was interesting because there's definitely different flows. Like, was it Saturday and Sunday? Trying to get through. Like, I had to get from like more of the video game section down to like all the panels. It was bumper to bumper, like in that. But it like we really saw a lot of people like really like cleaning house on collectibles. It was great, and there was some really cool costumes. Like I don't know if you've seen the Magic wheelchair. They make these like really customized, awesome like cosplays for wheelchairs, and they had all sorts of stuff like the Jurassic Park with the Velociraptor leading. So there was a lot of cool stuff, and even the video game I got to play, like I think it was Dual Force. It was like a new card game, collaboration coming with Cryptozoic down there. But yeah, it was just there was I saw a lot of content creators, and that was a thing that was I thought that was really cool. In Artist Alley, like I discovered so many new artists that I was just like, I'm gonna take your business card, I'm gonna get your Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Like, I definitely have like some new favorites, from that. And that was the other thing I thought was I didn't really think about, but like how much I was gonna be exposed to like new talent that I can then like kind of like start like Instagram stalking and just be like, okay, I want to follow this. I want to see, what they're producing, what like new projects they're on. So, and I was able to even like talk to them about like some possible collaborations, because I was just like, okay, well, I can't pass up this opportunity to like talk in person. So, yeah, that was something that was really, I think, special about like walking through the floor.
And it was good to have you back, my friend.
Yeah.
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 But real quick, because we're gonna let Luke kind of lead us, kind of close it out for us. But Isaac, I wanted to just real quick, if I can do this the right way, I want folks to be able to. Oh, is it? I don't know if I can do this the right way. Window, entire screen, Chrome tab, window. Oh, let's just see what this does. Let's see what happens when I try it. Share. Am I sharing anything?
No, not yet.
Don't you love how technically astute I am? I'm trying to share. Okay, I'm trying one more time. Share my screen. Share the entire screen. This site will be able to see the contents on your screen. Yes, I realize it. Share the screen and share. Yeah, whatever. We're not going to do it tonight. I have Isaac's Instagram from Monster Truck Ninja pulled up. I was trying to share the screen right now so people can see the kind of work he does. Tell you what, we will make sure we put some of that stuff up for everybody to see. But Luke, if you can share your screen, if you want to, that's cool. But as we close out the show today, we had a really kind of special moment during our 30th anniversary, official 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers celebration, and that you're going to close out with us. Is there any other video, Luke, that we kind of missed that is important to show real quick on the show tonight, or you think we're good?
Well, you were asking me to talk about the floor just real quick. I'll say,
yeah, please do.
Before that, I was very surprised to see the floor was most crowded on Sunday, because like usually things kind of, are spread out, and you think of like Friday or Saturday as the big crowded day for Comic-Con. And I kept saving like, oh, I'll do Artist Alley kind of towards the end, because I was like there's floors so big, it takes hours to go through if you're really trying to look at everything. So like I was like, all right, well, I still haven't seen Artist Alley. And the day I went on Sunday, like it was like so hard to walk. Like it took so much time because it was so crowded, which is awesome. And the floor was just jam packed. And, there's such a mix from toys to like, the studios to the comics to different, there's still actors there signing. I got to meet like in different places. I got to meet Flash Gordon, Sam Jones, the actor that played Flash Gordon. I got to meet Thomas Ian Nicholas, who was in Rookie of the Year, American Pie, and he's on this new project right now. I think it's called like Unscripted or something like that. It was Underdeveloped is what that was called. He was there promoting as well with Tom Arnold, so I met them. So we're hoping to get some of these people on our podcast, and Charlene's on that show, who is on our show as well.
You didn't show the picture of Charlene.
Yes, Charlene. Let's see. There's that picture. You got that?
Wait, are you showing it?
Oh, I thought you were showing it. I said you got that?
Oh, I'll show it.
Yep. So right there. Charlene Amoya from our TV show Sons of Thunder was there, so she was part of that show as well. So it was cool to meet all those people. And one other thing I just want to show, actually my favorite thing I bought, I completely forgot because I had to buy it online because it was a Comic-Con collective, was and this is now sold out online, is a Jurassic Park figure of Steven Spielberg himself that Mattel did, on set with the director's chair, the camera, and it comes with the Dilophosaurus, but you can now have this be part of your Jurassic Park setup. And it comes in this little, the film clicker thing, and, the boxing's really cool on it, but it's a really cool toy.
I think it's having a hard time loading right now.
I bought a couple of them. So
there it is.
Had limited 2 per order, but really cool stuff. So that was one of the things. I had to get up at like 9 a.m, which isn't early for most people, but I was able to pull off getting my Steven Spielberg.
This is so cool. It's a collectible set of action figures of Steven Spielberg directing Jurassic Park. I that's so clever.
Yeah.
And this is from Mattel, you said? Yeah, Mattel.
Mattel. And
Fantastic.
I really did like the Indiana Jones stuff they did too. I'm hoping to get some of those. Like they've done a good job with kind of not quite to a NECA level, but almost there. You know, they don't have the changeable heads and all that, but they have a lot of cool Indiana Jones stuff from all the films that came out. And they had a whole booth displaying all those at Hasbro. So I do want to get my hands on some of the Hasbro Indiana Jones stuff at some point.
So San Diego Comic-Con 2023 was just an amazing time. It was full. It was packed. There's just, we could go on for days and days and days and weeks talking about it, but we just kind of skimmed across the tips of the iceberg here of everything that was at San Diego Comic-Con. And Luke's going to actually kind of end the show with a cool moment from our panel.
Cool. Did we want to give our tags before we do this?
Sure. Isaac, where can people find out more information about your company?
Sure.
And what you're working on.
Yeah. Well, at Monster Truck Ninja, it's Instagram. Also for our digital collectibles, if you want to be aware of what's coming down the pipeline, it's at Bacano Go. That's BACANO. Geo. Bacano means cool and awesome in Colombian slang. So and then Bacano Go. BACANO GO, like at and .com. So that's the website also.
And it's .com at the end of that?
Yeah, bacanogo.com.
Well,
at Bacano Go is the handle, and then if you just do bacanogo.com, that's the website.
Okay.
A little combo of both. There you go.
Yeah.
And Jim, where can people find you?
Find me on the Con Guy, theconguy.com. Find me on the Con Guy Instagram, the conguy.dotcom, Twitter, Star, whatever they're calling it these days. Or you can find me personally at James D. Fry on Instagram. What about you, Cheeseman?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Cheese on Couch, and also always theconguy.com. Check out our brother and sister sites. We have the Tiki Freaks, we have the Con Girls, we have the Con Kids. Hopefully we'll get some stuff going on that again. And the Scare Guy, we are about to be kind of launching the scare season. So please check
Halloween
out
starts this week, guys. We're going to
we're-
Midsummer Screen this weekend. It starts this week, so expect a lot of Scare Guy content coming at you.
Yep. And we are going to end the show. We had a great time doing the Power Ranger 30th anniversary panel. So one of the biggest moments that we talked about was, going through the loss of Jason David Frank, one of the original Green and White Ranger. So we had a very special moment on the panel where everybody spoke about him. I don't know if we're going to play the whole thing, but we got a good bit of it. So we're going to end the show with a special tribute to Jason David Frank.
And you'll be able to see the full Power Rangers panel in a couple weeks.
You worked closely with JDF as a child during your time playing the Blue Turbo Ranger. Are there any stories or great memories that you want to share about working with him?
Man, first off, I just want to say rest in peace, Jay. We love you, man. And I know you're watching down on all of us. It's tough because I grew up watching him and he was like my idol. And then I got a chance to work with him. There's plenty of memories, plenty of things, but the one thing that stands out to me right now is him doing this to all of y'all down here so he can punch you, because every day on set he would do this to me and I would get punched in the arm. And I would always try to put my finger in so I could get him back, or however the game goes. And I would come home with bruises on my arms, and my dad's like, what is all this? What are all these bruises? And I was like, Jason's punching me. So my dad had to go have a talk with Jason. Jason still did it afterwards, but I will never forget when we were filming Power Rangers Turbo, the movie. He took me, he was like, yo, I'm taking you in my BMW drop top. Let's go somewhere real quick. And he took me to a movie theater that had Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, on like the big pedestal up there in front of everything. And I thought it was so cool, and spending those times with him. I truly miss him. We love you, and I'll see you one day again, big guy.
I would like to open it up.
Thanks for listening to The Con Guy Show, the official program of theconguy.com. Find us on the Weeby Geeks Collective or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And now on sci-fi.radio, Saturdays at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, both AM and PM. That's 9 o'clock Greenwich. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.